Every morning, Lila tended her tiny garden on the castle wall. Roses, tulips, daisies, all bloomed under her care. But one misty dawn, a shadow loomed overhead. A dragon. "Please don't eat my flowers," Lila begged. But the dragon sighed. "I don't want flowers. I need help." He opened a claw, revealing a wilted golden seed. "I've tried planting it everywhere, but it won't grow." Lila smiled gently. "Let's try together." They dug a small patch in her garden, watered it, and waited. Days passed. Then, sprout! A golden vine shot up, wrapping around the castle. "It needed kindness," Lila said softly. The dragon beamed. "And now I'll guard your garden. Always." From then on, the dragon's wings shaded the flowers, and every visitor left with a golden bloom. In a quiet workshop, Rusty the robot stared at a blank wall. "I wish I could paint," he sighed, "but my hands are too clunky." Suddenly, a tiny bee with a paintbrush for a tail buzzed in. "Need help?" she asked. Who are you?" Rusty blinked. "I'm Beely, the painter bee. I make colors where there's none." She zipped around, splashing blues and yellows across the wall. "Wow," Rusty gasped. "Teach me." "Sure," Beely grinned, guiding his metal fingers. Slowly, Rusty dipped into paint and made his first stroke. Then another, and another. Together, they painted swirling galaxies, dancing stars, and shining suns. "It's beautiful," Rusty whispered. Beely smiled. "Sometimes it just takes a friend to show you how bright you can be." In a dusty thrift shop, Milo found a strange blue coat hanging in the corner. "Try it on," the shopkeeper winked. As soon as Milo slipped it over his shoulders, the coat purred and lifted him an inch off the ground. "Whoa, it hovers," Milo grinned. "Where would you like to wool?" the coat whispered. Milo thought hard. Somewhere no one's been before. With a flutter, the coat soared out the door, over streets past clouds, higher and higher. They zipped through rainbow storms and cotton candy skies until they reached a floating island with doors hanging in midair. "Choose a door," the coat said softly. Milo reached for a shimmering silver one. But suddenly all the doors began to glow. "Each leads to a different adventure," the coat whispered. "But you can only pick one tonight." No one knew where he came from. One morning, a small boy made entirely of marshmallow walked into Sweetville, his sugary footsteps sticking to the cobbled streets. "I'm Max," he said softly, "and I'm melting." The townsfolk gasped. Max's arms were drooping in the warm sun. Baker Bella rushed forward. "Quick, we need shade." But as umbrellas popped open and ice cream trucks circled him, Max's smile faded. "I wasn't always marshmallow," he whispered. "A wish, a shooting star, now I'm stuck like this." A curious sparkle glinted in his gooey eyes. "But maybe, just maybe, someone here knows how to turn me back." And as the town gathered, little Max lifted a sticky hand toward the old candy clock tower. "We've got until midnight before I melt completely." Glimmerlocks wasn't like other unicorns. Her mane sparkled with tiny stars. "One day I'll fly to space," she dreamed. And one night, as she gazed at the moon, a spaceship crash-landed in the meadow. Out tumbled 3 fluffy pandas in silver suits. "We're lost," the biggest panda sniffled. "Can you help us get home?" Glimmerlocks stamped her hooves. "Hop on." With a burst of magic, her horn glowed bright, and together they soared into the sky, weaving past comets and glowing moons. But then a shadow loomed. "A space dragon," gasped a panda. Glimmerlocks narrowed her eyes. "Hold tight." With a swish of her shining tail, she left a glitter trail so dazzling the dragon blinked in awe, giving them just enough time to zip away. "Thanks, Glimmerlocks," The pandas cheered as their home planet twinkled ahead. In a dusty attic, Dostella found a pair of old sneakers glowing faintly under moonlight. She slipped them on, and they hummed. Suddenly, she floated an inch above the floor. Cool, she laughed, twirling. But then, the sneakers sprinted out the window. Hey, who's driving these? Bishasadas by doors. She shrieked as they dashed across rooftops and over fences into the sleeping city. The sneakers stopped before an old shoe store. Inside, shelves shimmered with glowing shoes. "You're the chosen walker," whispered a voice. A tiny cobbler stepped out, smiling. These sneakers only fit those meant to walk between worlds. Dostella's eyes widened. "Worlds?" The cobbler nodded. "Tonight we need you." And as the sneakers laced themselves tighter, Dostella stepped forward, ready for an adventure she never imagined. Deep under Clover Hill, 3 bunnies, Nibbles, Thumper, and Tilly, peeked out of their burrow. "It's gone," Tilly gasped. The moonstone, the glowing gem that lit their tunnels, had vanished. Without it, the warren would fall into darkness. "We must find it," said Nibbles, stuffing carrots into a satchel. Their journey began under starlight, hopping past sleepy owls and whispering winds. Suddenly, paw prints, big ones, led into the foggy woods. "Something took it," Thumper gulped. Bravely, they pressed on, their ears twitching at every crackle. At the heart of the woods stood a towering badger holding the moonstone. "I borrowed it for my sick cub," he rumbled. The bunnies huddled. "Maybe we can share it?" Tilly offered. And as the moonstone's glow lit both burrows that night, the 3 brave bunnies learned that sometimes courage meant kindness too. Shelley the snail longed for speed. Every day she watched Skitter, the jetpack squirrel, zoom across the park. "Oh, to fly," she sighed. "Why so glum, Slowpoke?" Skitter grinned, zipping by. "I wish I could go fast," Shelley said. "Hop on," he said. "But I'm a snail." "Perfect!" Skitter strapped her on, and whoosh, they soared over trees and puddles. "Whee!" Shelley cheered. Suddenly, jammed controls. Spiraling down, Skitter panicked. Shelley stretched out, splat, and caught a lily pad, gliding them safely down. "Whoa, Skitter said. "You saved us." Shelley smiled. "Slow and Steady's got moves too." High above the mountains lived a shy cloud named Puff. He watched big clouds make thunder and lightning. "I could never do that," he sighed. One day the sun said, "Puff, the garden below needs rain. Can you help?" "Me, I'm too small," Puff said nervously. "Please," the sun smiled. Puff floated down, took a deep breath, and let out a soft drizzle. Flowers perked up. Trees smiled. "More, Puff," said the sun. He rained just enough to refresh the garden. Back home, the big clouds cheered. "Look who made rain today." And Puff felt big for the very first time.